going, Legion? Azrael here, like always. Let me just move this microphone closer. Okay. Hopefully it wasn't loud. If you're wondering, oh man, Azrael, you look more scuffed than normal. Scuffed is like disheveled or whatever. It's because this is me. This is what I look like when I have a day off, which is kind of cool to say. I haven't got to comments. I kind of meant to do them today. Today is Monday, so I'm making this video really late in the day. I was like, oh, I gotta do videos because I did one yesterday, and I was like, but I don't want to make more. I'll do the rest of my day off. And then I was like watching something, and I'm like, I really don't, and I forgot. So, and I don't think we've watched Shooting Hoops. If I did, sorry. But I don't think we have. I don't remember anything about it. If we did, it was a long time ago. The video showed that it wasn't something that I've seen before, so blame YouTube. But, yeah, like, I just haven't got to comments lately, or yet. I think I'm a weekish behind now, which I should catch up to them. I'll try to get to them either tonight or, I don't want to say tomorrow, but I'll try to get to them tonight. I used to do them after, like, a video. I try to check them, like, at least every night or every other night, not to let them build up too much, but, yeah, it's just, it is what it is. So, because I remember we talked a lot about a lot of different things on the last top video, and I'm sure people had a lot to say. I get home at 11 p.m., and then it's like, okay, it's time to just peel everything off, super sore, and then lay down. I don't want to sit in the chair. I just want to go and look like a beached whale on a bed somewhere. You know what I mean? So, with that, we're going to do some hoops. Catching up with 21 Pilots, some of the stuff that they've been doing. I'm also kind of tired. But yeah, let's just get into it. Check it out. See what it's all about. It'll be good. Let's go. Hopefully that's... I'm done with this. This is fucking the skill right now. I'm pissed.
Do you think that woman likes us? Are we supposed to listen to that? No. No?
Some people just can do it.
Mr. Joseph, I heard this story that you're really good at basketball. True or false?
I don't remember, but I used to be all about it. It used to be my identity as a little kid.
How little?
Pretty little. But then I kept playing after I was little, too. So, I actually haven't been in a gym in a really long time, and it just brings back a lot of memories smelling this. Do you smell this? Yeah.
The way I understand it is that you were going to not be an international pop star, but to be an internationally renowned basketball player.
Yeah, my parents didn't really see me being an international pop star, no. But to be able to go to college, the best way of doing that is getting some sort of scholarship, which, of course, it wasn't going to come from academics. So what about athletics? So a lot of the plan was to get a scholarship playing basketball, and that was actually the case. And I decided to play the piano instead. I had to make 500 shots every day before dinner. It helped that I was also homeschooled, so it was a part of my education.
Jesus.
Somehow.
That kind of
I went
parenting.
shopping with my
just...
mom. I helped her get groceries, and then came home and I had to shoot. So that's what I learned growing up. Shortly after that, I did.
I mean, this is just me. That's shitty parenting. Like, I mean, I guess it's only shitty if the kid doesn't want to do it. If he's all about it, like he said, then sure. And then there's also the caveat, like, what if he hated it at first, but then grown to love it, or grew to love it, I should say. And then there's like the plus and minus to that. Was it his parents' best influence and the right thing to do to kind of influence your kid to like something, or did he learn to love it because he had no choice? Like, there's all kinds of things like that. I think that kind of parenting is shit. That's like when you see like the stereotype of like the Asian family and their kids are meant to play the piano and the violin for like 8+ hours a day. Like that's, did they really love it? Do they love it? Or were they just kind of made to love it? Like, did their perception of things change? Not because they got older and they saw the value of music, but you know that it was just ingrained. I can't talk. Ingrained into their identity, like he said, you know, because of being, you know, because young kids are also impressionable. So, would you have grown up to like it, or did it just like again? Yeah, would you have grown up to like it, or did you just, you know, as a young kid you were just influenced to like it? And even when you're older and you're preteens to teenish, young teens like 13 to 15, do you actually end up liking it, or is it because you're doing it so much that you just learned to like it and now you're an adult and you're doing this stuff like that? Like I don't know, I personally don't agree with like the extreme hours. You know, you find out what your kid likes and then you kind of like not force them, but force, you know, you give them the responsibility talk. You said you wanted to do it, can't back out. You know, like I want to do karate. Well, then you're going to do a year or plus of karate until you've fully gone through it and gone, it's not for me, right? Maybe he just liked sports as a kid and his parents are like, all right, cool, you like it, you're going to see it through. You know what I mean? Like,
Go to regular school, so I learned a lot of the social norms, but up until then I had no idea what was right and what was wrong other than shooting baskets.
That was right or wrong?
It was necessary.
I knew he was going to say
Looking
that.
back on those days, do you feel some sort of regret, nostalgia,
You know,
or
yesterday I was wondering, it was actually just yesterday, I was asking myself, I wonder why I spent so much time playing basketball. I mean, what is it that I've learned in order to be successful at what I'm doing now? What are some of the skills that I've obtained, or maybe just staying ignorant to a lot of things that are found inside of a scene of growing up playing music. You know, I wasn't that guy. I was in a completely different scene than the scene that I am in now. I still feel completely.
I mean, and still, I'm not going to talk for that long, but you know, having someone, you know, have your kid do like 100 shots a day is one thing, right? If you, there's a certain extent where 500 is like excessive or crazy, you know what I mean? So, kind of pushing your kid to do something, maybe even if they don't like it, just to see if they do, or maybe they'll learn a lesson, is one thing with moderation. But to go to extremes, it's a lot.
I don't feel like I belong. You know, when I walk around and I talk to other guys in skinny jeans, you know, it's like I still feel like I should be wearing gym shorts.
Josh Dunn? Does he
Skinny
throw like
jeans
an
is just,
infant?
oh god.
Josh Dunn is a drummer, and all-around drummer. Also, the nicest guy I've ever met in my entire life.
Can he play basketball?
He can pretty much do anything.
Just not well.
Okay.
Oh.
Like that's just he's athletic. He's got great body control. I mean, the guy played baseball. The guy played basketball. He played soccer. I mean, he was the kid who played everything. I was the kid who didn't do anything except for basketball. So I cannot do anything else except for basketball. Josh is fast.
Yeah, he was like,
He's fast. Josh is super aerodynamic. I mean, like,
So,
but he's not very
he's
good
the
at
Bugs
basketball.
Bunny to your Michael Jordan.
Right.
He's that fast.
oh
Yeah.
god.
First shot in a while. Ooh, missed.
I could hear the mist. The brick. That was pretty cool. But yeah, and I'm not like criticizing his mom or anything like that. I'm just saying parenting in general like that. I don't agree with stuff like that. 500, Jesus Christ. I guess if you're homeschooling, you have a whole day to do it, it's one thing. If you like it, it's one thing. You know, but there's all those different things. Like, I think that if I was talking to if I had a kid and he was like, I want to play baseball. It's like, all right, you're gonna go through a full season. You don't get to quit in the middle, right? You made the commitment to the coach, and kids don't get that shit. Kids don't get the logistics. You need so many kids to do blah blah whatever. So yeah, like I remember when I was a kid, I wanted to do karate. I did karate, and I did it until like we had our break or something like that, right? We went through like the full thing, and it was just not really for. I actually don't. I think it was my parents getting divorced that is why we stopped doing that. Actually, I played flag football or whatever as a young kid, like 5, 6, whatever. I think I did baseball and basketball. I hate baseball and basketball, but I did football. I did all the stuff. But you did it consecutive. You did it all the way through. Maybe not to the end of the season, let's say, or whatever, or maybe 2. The seasons weren't that long, I don't believe. But going above and beyond, like I said, when you see those kids playing violin and piano, and they look miserable, right? They have to come home, and instead of developing as a kid here with other kids, to not be socially awkward or a dipshit, you're really good at a talent. And then for the rest of your life, you're just that dipshit, right? Because you had no social skills as a kid. Now you're just like the weirdo, And some people just have that innate skill to be able to communicate. But there are some kids that maybe got to play a day out of 7, right? Like a Sunday or something like that, or a few hours, and sometimes when you're in high school, you can get out of it. Like I knew people like that as well, but yeah, sometimes you just didn't have the freedom to go out and have fun. And like once you get older, man, and you have a job, it's like, this is not my first job, but once you get a real job, it's like, especially when you're not young, you don't want to go out and do a bunch of shit. When I had my first job, when I was like 18 or whatever, I worked at a buffet, and I slept at one time I didn't even sleep. Went back and worked 16 hours the next day. It was crazy, but I was also like 18 to 20, and I could do that, right? As a kid, you can do a lot of stuff, but when you're older and you have a job, it's like I just want to go home, put my feet up. So I think it's important for kids to be able to have that freedom. Homeschool, you get a lot of freedom, and you probably got to be outside shooting baskets, which you probably end up just genuinely liked while learning stuff. Which, hey, that seemed like a pretty bomb ass way to do school. But yeah, like you want your kids to be able to have the ultimate freedom, and then when they hit like 15 and they're getting the permits and stuff like that, you start really getting. You already do it before, but you make sure the structure is even hammered in harder there. 16, now they're driving on their own. You make sure that structure is in place, and you're preparing them for adulthood. But like that's just some thoughts that I have. I don't know. I'm rambling a lot. I'm gonna get out of here. Thanks for watching. Thanks for hanging out. Later.